Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India onto the dais. I also invite CS B. Shekhar Babu, Chairman, Southern India Regional Council of ICSI, to kindly occupy the dais. I also request CS Ashish Mohan, Secretary, ICSI, to kindly occupy the dais. Inviting CS Midun P. Shenoy, Chairman, Kochi Chapter of ICSI, to kindly occupy the dais. Namaskaram and good morning to one and all. Goats and Country extends a very warm welcome to all the delegates of 3rd National Conference of Corporate Seers. The city of Kochi is all set to deliver 2 days of professional extravaganza by hosting the 3rd National Conference of Corporate Seers, Pursuing Perfection. Special acknowledgement to all our delegates who have joined virtually from across the country. Thank you for being part of this event, and we do hope you would enjoy the sessions as much as we do. Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. Speak the truth and abide by the law. The motto that ICSI and all its members follow in true sense of letter and spirit. The ICSI motto song aptly depicts our emotions and commitment to our motto song. Request all of you to kindly rise for the ICSI motto song.
उम्मीद के अंबर में हम बन के खिले जो रोशनी, कह देंगे हम संसार को कोई लक्ष्य नामुमकिन नहीं। ज्ञान के और न्याय के हर राह को थामे हुए चल पड़े हैं झूम कर बस गीत ये गाते हुए। सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर। कंपनी सचिव कदमों की हर एक गूंज में बस जीत का एहसास हो, राष्ट्र प्रगति पथ पे हो और आत्मबल की आस हो। जब भी चले इस भाव से खुलते गए हैं रास्ते, आवाज हमने दिल से दी है गीत ये गाते हुए। सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर। हर उन्नति के रंग में हर भारतीय हाथ हो, उद्यम हो या उद्योग हो, हर ओर अपना साथ हो। जाना शिखर तक है हमें सच की कलाई थाम कर, हम जीत के सुर छेड़ेंगे गीत ये गाते हुए। सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर, सत्यम वद धर्मम चर।
Thank you. May I now invite CS Devendra V. Deshpande, President ICSI, to present Angavastram and Planter to the Chief Guest, Sri Haibi Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. I now request our beloved President to present Angavastram and Planter to our guest of honor, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, Chairman, Marine Product Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India. presentation of the planter. Perfection consists not in doing extraordinary things, but in doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. ICSI, in its pursuit of professional excellence, is committed to attain pinnacles of perfection. May I now call upon CS Nagendra D. Rao, Program Director and immediate past President of ICSI, to deliver the welcome address and to introduce the theme of 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS, Pursuing Perfection.
Good morning. That's it. Thank you all. Very good morning to all the esteemed members on the dais as well as of the dais present today. Chief guest for today, Sri Hebe Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. Our guest of honor, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, Chairman, Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India. Our beloved President, C.S. Devendra V. Deshpande, C.S. Shekhar Babu Garu, Chairman of Southern India Regional Council, C.S. Mithun Shenoy, Chairman of the Kochi Chapter, C.S. Ashish Mohan, Secretary of ICSI. I recognize the presence of our beloved past President, ever smiling C.S. Ashish Garg, C.S. Ranjit Pandey, veteran of Company Secretary Profession Central Council member, Bhishma Pitamaha, what we call as C.S. B. Narasimhan, C.S. Sandeep Kejriwal. I also recognize the past Chairman of SIRC, C.S. Balasubramaniam, all the past chairmen of the Kochi chapter, Thrissur chapter, present chapter chairman of Thrissur, and all the esteemed members of ICSI. Once again, a great warm welcome to the 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS. It is a 3-year-old baby, National Corporate CS. But as known to you all, small is always beautiful. Friends, amongst today, we are bestowed with the wondrous opportunity which I would like to welcome Shri Chief Guest for today, Shri Hebe Eden, the Honorable Member of Parliament from Ernakulam, Kerala. For a man who is not just an inspiration for the youth of the city or a state, but the entire nation, to have you amongst us here is indeed an honor beyond our words. Sir, welcome to 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS. It is also a great privilege to have, and I extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, Chairman of Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India. A man of sheer versatility, while his work area exudes the knowledge of taxation, his personal interests in umpiring would indeed give us a delightful discussions. It's also indeed a great moment for me because this is the second time in year 2015 we had the National PCS at Bokati Palace in Kochi, where I was then chairman of SIRC, and ever smiling Ashish Garg was co-program director at that program director and facilitator at that particular point of time. And today, standing amidst you as the program director. It's indeed a joyful moment, and I'm sure that this 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS will be a delight moment in terms of not only the knowledge dissemination, but also an enjoyment for all of us for so far as the mind as well as the knowledge is concerned. It's also my bounden duty, which has been given to me, to introduce the theme of the 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS, the Company Secretary Pursuing Perfection. Friends, our ICSI logo, if you see, you will find in pursuit of professional excellence. And when we talk about a corporate sector, the most important thing what any company secretary would like to do is not only with regards to the Companies Act, but also with regards to the various SEBI compliances. In the year January 22 onwards, till now, we had 50 circulars which has been issued by SEBI, and from 1st April 22 onwards, 15 circulars have been issued by the Securities Exchange Board of India. To know the various critical aspects, the nuances, there are various provisions which have come more so with regards to the related party transaction. We have a first technical session on critical aspects of SEBI compliances. I am sure the various nuances, the various issues, the problems which a corporate sector and as well as the company secretary for complying the various provisions, we have the esteemed panelists present to share their word of wisdom on the first technical session on critical aspect of SEBI compliances. Friends, when we talk about compliances, compliances also means responsibility. Doing business is one thing, doing business responsibility is another thing. A second technical session on business responsibility as well as sustaining the responsibility which has been showered upon by the lawmakers upon the company to comply various, not only the provisions on the letter of law, but also the spirit of law. Taking into confidence the stakeholders, what are the various values, what are the various intellect which is required to be maintained by the companies, company secretaries, will be dwelt upon in the second technical session on business responsibility and sustainability reporting. And what would happen in case there is a fallout or a miss out on a non-financial disclosure. How we as a company secretary would be responsible, how we as a key managerial personnel, what our role and responsibility is, will dealt in the second technical session on the business responsibility and sustainability reporting. COVID-19 has done a 360-degree turnaround from a physical participation through a virtual participation. I also extend my warm welcome to all the members who have joined virtually to this third National Corporate CS. Around 1,000 members have joined today for participating in this third National Conference of Corporate CS. And when we talk about digitalization, what would be its impact? How we has to pull up our socks and ensure the compliances. What would be the future of company secretaries in terms of compliance mechanism? We all know what is happening in version 3, version 2 to version 3. So mere filing of forms to the enhanced role of corporate CS or a company secretaries for the purpose of performing. So the technology will play a major and an important role for the purpose of the shaping the future of the company secretaries. The third technical session on the role and era, in the era of the digitalization. All this requires certain specific skill sets to manage, whether it is business responsibility, whether it is SEBI compliances, whether in terms of coping ourselves into the new era of digitalization. We require our skill sets to be improved, to be enhanced to a next level. A fourth technical session on leadership skill vis-a-vis the crisis management. How to handle the pandemic-19 crisis in terms of what crisis may come in future. How to be ready with our leadership skill. So fourth technical session on the leadership skill and crisis management. Any crisis brings a huge sea of opportunity, ocean of opportunity. A fifth technical session on opportunities beyond boundaries for the company secretaries, and more so with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. When we talk about all these technical sessions, we all will also be very much tired. We will be having lot of things in our mind. And what best place to hove around the cruise for the purpose of members, because we always say the calmness is in the sea, and when there is a calmness in the sea, there will always be a calmness in the mind. It will help us to go for the second day program, by virtue of which we can get ourselves more enlightened by the words of wisdom which would be shared in the second day of the various technical session. Friends, I would like to talk about all these seminars program are going to help the company secretaries for the purpose of achieving the main theme. Now, how this theme is going to be pursuing perfection? Now, pursuing perfection, we have around 72 chapters, and we have around 4 regional councils, 5 overseas centers. But one amongst them is our Kochi chapter. And what more than a new premises which is coming up for our Kochi premises? I would like to extend or like to thank few personalities, few persons. The able leadership of Bal Subramaniam, the past chairman of SIRC, the able leadership of past chairman of SIRC, Shiv Kumar, I could not see him here, who were always behind me to ensure, whether as a past president of the institute or whether as a central council member, to ensure the premises of the Kochi chapter be the reality. I am sure that sooner, maybe by this year end, the dream will come reality, and we will also see that while we are pursuing the perfection, our Kochi chapter will leave no stone unturned for the betterment of not only all the professionals, but also all our stakeholders at large. I take this opportunity in once again welcoming each and every member of our profession. I also would like to extend a warm welcome to all the secretariat of the ICSI, and also to all the delegate members, members of the press, members from the media, and I also would like to extend a warm welcome to the chairman of the Thrissur chapter of ICAI. Thank you very much. I am sure that this technical session and the cruise around will be a huge success and will benefit all our company secretaries in ensuring, in pursuit of professional excellence, we create a niche, we create a mark, an indelible mark in the profession and also as a nation as a whole. Thank you very much.
Secretary pursuing perfection, and also for explaining the various core topics of the conference. To have such eminent personalities with us today on the dais to grace this occasion, I invite CS B. Shekhar Babu, Chairman, Southern India Regional Council of ICSI, to introduce our chief guest for the event, Sri Haibi Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha.
Good morning. Thank you. Respected Sri Haibi Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Sri Dr. K.N. Raghavan, Chairman, Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India Limited. Then our beloved President, C.S. Devendra Deshpande, our immediate past President, Nagendra Rao. Then I also acknowledge the presence of our past Presidents, Ranjit Pandeji, Ashish Garji, and our council members, Ahlad Raoji, and our Beshpa Pitamaha Narsimhamji and Sanjeev. And I also acknowledge the presence of all our council colleagues from SIRC and all chapter chairpersons from Kerala and our Midun Shennai, and all the participants through virtual mode, and entire secretariat of ICSI, friends from press. Good morning to one and all. Greetings and a warm welcome to all of you to this third National Conference of Corporate CS. I have been entrusted with the pleasant task of introducing a young, dynamic parliamentarian, Sri Haibi Eden. Really, say, after going through his profile, I feel really honored to have an opportunity to introduce you, sir. Born to Sri George Eden, an erstwhile member of Legislative Assembly and a member of Parliament, Haibi Eden completed his schooling in CCPLM, Anglo-Indian High School, Permanur, and free graduation and graduation in Commerce from Sacred Heart College, Tevara. Fond of learning, he is now pursuing his LLB in Kerala Academy, Thiruvananthapuram. Sri Haibi Eden was only 27 when people of Ernakulam got elected him as their representative to the Kerala State Legislative Assembly. He was the youngest member of the current Parliament. In 2016 Assembly elections, he got elected for the second time as the member of Legislative Assembly of Kerala from Ernakulam constituency. In 2019 Lok Sabha elections, he contested from Ernakulam Lok Sabha constituency, which again he won by a huge margin. He began his political journey as a worker of the Kerala Students' Union KSU in 2003 during his pre-graduation course at Sacred Heart College. Elected the president of Sacred Heart College unit of KSU in 2003, Sri Haibi was nominated as the president of Ernakulam District Committee of KSU in 2004, from where he was promoted to the president of KSU State Committee in 2007. He was further elevated to handle the leadership of National Students Union NSUI in 2009. An NSUI president, he was vocal advocate of students' rights across the country. Haibi Eden is also actively involved in the trade union sector, raising his voice for the protection of labor rights. He has represented in India in the Commonwealth country seminar, in the Indo-Pak delegation to American Council of Young Political Leaders, and the European Union Visitors Program. His unique ways of connecting with the masses and has garnered much popularity and adulation. With these brief words, I am introducing Sri I.B. Eden to you all. Once again, a warm welcome to you to this third National Conference of Corporate CS. Thank you, one and all.
Right. CS Mithun P. Shenoy, Chairman, Kochi Chapter of ICSI, to introduce the guest of honor, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, Chairman, Marine Product Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India.
Respected Chief Guest, Sri Haibi Eden Sir, MP, Guest of Honor, Sri Dr. K.N. Raghavan Sir, our beloved President, Devendra Deshpande Sir, Ashish Sir, Shekhar Babu Sir, Nagendra Rao Sir, all my dear members who is attending online as well as offline mode. Welcome you all to this third National Conference of Corporate CS. First of all, I should thank our President for giving us the opportunity to host this national event. I should thank for that. May 6th, that is today, is known to be two important events. One is our national conference, and second important event is our dream project being chapter building. The piling is started today. Sooner, we hope that this chapter building will see its light at the earliest. So my duty is to introduce our guest of honor, Sri Dr. K.N. Raghavan Sir. An MPBS from Calicut Medical College and IRS, he held key position in field formation of Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs and Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. He also has served on deputation to the Government of Kerala, besides serving as First Secretary Commerce in High Commission of India, Singapore. He was Commissioner of Customs in Kochi from 2012 to 2017 and Principal Commissioner of Central GST in Mumbai from 2017 to 2019. Presently, he holds the charge of chairman of Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India. His book, Dividing Line Contours of India-China Conflict, won critical acclaim as one of the best research books on the topic of Sino-Indian War of 1962. An avid cricket lover, he is also the author of World Cup, Cronile and Vanishing Shangri-La, History of Tibet and Dalai Lamas in 20th Century. Dr. K.N. Raghavan was accredited as umpire with BCCI in the year 1991. He is long distance runner and regularly takes part in the marathon. I welcome you, sir, to this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, C.S. Mitra. Torchbearer, our beloved President, C.S. Devendra V. Deshpande, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, all. On behalf of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, first of all, I welcome all the people who have come here, gathered here in an offline mode, all 350 people sitting here and 1,000 people attending on a virtual mode to this third National Conference of Corporate Company Secretaries. So on behalf of Institute, I welcome all of you to this particular program. I welcome our chief guest, Shri Hibi Eden, Member of Parliament from Ernakulam, Kerala. Guest of honor, Shri K.N. Raghavan, Chairman MPDPA, MPEDA and Tea Board of India. I welcome both of you on behalf of Institute, and I thank you for accepting our invitation and being present today at this particular program. Warm welcome to all the past presidents present here. C.S. Ranjit Pandey, C.S. Ashish Garg, my council colleagues present here, C.S. Narsimhan ji, Sandeep Kejriwal ji, Allada ji, Program Director Nagendra Rao, your Secretary of the Institute, Ashish Mohan, Shekhar Babu ji, Chairman SIRC, Mithun, Chairman of Kochi Chapter, each and everyone present here, all past chairman, past managing committee members, present managing committee members of all chapters and regions. I welcome you to this third National Conference of Corporate CS on behalf of the Institute. And before I go on to talk about the conference and the thought about the conference, I was always getting, in last 3-4 days, I was getting the messages from company secretaries, especially in corporates, in respect of whether the annual general meetings and extraordinary general meetings, which are supposed to be held in an online mode, whether we will get an extension. So I'm really happy to tell you that today in the morning we have got those 2 circulars, and the annual general meetings and extraordinary general meetings in the year 2022 can be held through an audio-visual conference. So we got a confirmation from MCA. We are waiting for confirmation from SEBI. So at least we got the recognition, the representation made by your institute has worked with the ministry, and we have got this recognition. And there is a possibility in coming years, because high-level committee on company law, they have also recommended for the amendment in the Companies Act, which will allow this annual general meetings and postal ballots to be done through a virtual mode itself. So in long term also, we will get that particular benefit. So I think this is a lucky day for every one of us, because we got that extension. Every time we look forward for some extension, some recognitions from the ministry, and I think we have started on a very positive note. Let me tell you that we were planning for this particular conference, and it was supposed to be held in South because of the rotation of the conferences which we do. And Kochi was the first choice for all of us, because Kochi, historically, we know that it is one of the city having more than 500 years of its history. It has got temples, beautiful churches, beaches, and lovely people, and it is called as Queen of Arabian Sea. So I think Kochi was always the first choice. And last but not the least, the main reason why we are here, because your secretary hails from the same city. And I think that was one of the big reason why we came to Kochi. And I think the decision of coming to Kochi was well honored by all the members, because I can see full house. And after COVID, this is very few events we have seen that many people have joined on an offline mode. I'm really happy to note that whenever we have planned for any of the programs, may it be a IIM program which we did recently or a first international conference, institute got support from all its members when it comes to the registration in the various programs. So I must thank all of you for joining this particular program once again. The theme for the program, we were thinking about what should be the theme of the program. We always see and we always believe at the institute that company secretaries are always pursuing this perfection. They are perfect, they are having professional excellence, but every day we learn new things, like as rightly pointed out by our program director Nagendra ji, that there are 50 changes since last 6 months, 50 new circulars. So we have to be updated with SEBI laws, with MCA, with so many other things. Let's not concentrate only on MCA and company law and SEBI, but we are doing so many other things. Like I always believe that company secretary in corporates are the strongest pillar of our institute. And when I talk about this year's theme, this year your institute is pursuing a theme that CS a preferred professional. So we have been doing all our programs, we have been carrying out all our activities to reach that particular thing. So there are n number of professionals who are working maybe in corporates or in practice. And whenever there are 2 or more professionals working in the same field, we want our company secretaries to be preferred over others. So that is the theme of the year, and that is how we are working, in which I think company secretaries in corporates are really helping us out in pursuing this particular theme. When it comes to non-financial reporting, I think company secretaries in corporates are doing the best, because in the years we will see BRSR and ESG, which will actually create value for any of the corporate. So I think the company secretaries in corporates who would be in charge of BRSR as well as ESG will play a vital role in development of various corporates. So I think they will play an important role. There are a lot of IPOs which are coming up. Yesterday itself, a big IPO has come up, and we all know that company secretaries do play a very, very vital role when it comes to IPO or fundraising is concerned, including restructuring. Now in IBC, we are doing excellent. All our company secretaries are doing excellent work in IBC. We are also looking forward for a great opportunity in arbitration and mediation, as well as alternate dispute resolution. So all our company secretaries these days are working towards pursuing the perfection. So I think the theme was designed with a view that we are already excellent in our profession and we are trying to pursue for the perfection. So this was the theme with which we started. And I think recently we were doing analysis of ECSIN. So all of you must be aware that Institute introduced this particular theme in 2019 under the leadership of our past president Ranjit Pandey ji, and at that time Manish Gupta ji, who is a vice president today. He was in charge of this ECSIN and UDIN scheme development. He is not present today because of his ill health. But I remember that the thought process before coming out with ECSIN was to map the skill set of various company secretaries in corporates. And we have analyzed that more than 600 people, more than 600 company secretaries are either chairman or managing director of different companies. So the data is available with the institute. So this is the way our corporate company secretaries are growing. I am not talking about CFOs and CEOs. I'm talking about chairman and managing director. So these are the highest positions a person can acquire in any of the corporates. And more than 600 company secretaries have reached there. So we all sitting here today can take an oath that yes, that is my aim, that is my goal. And when we were thinking about this, then we thought about various initiatives which your institute has taken with IIMs. So we are entering into MOU with different IIMs. We have already entered into 16 MOUs with 16 IIMs. And we want leadership to be developed amongst our company secretaries, may be it in employment or may be it in practice, so that they will reach the pinnacle position of maybe chairman, CEO, CFO. So even various IIMs are offering us for online MBA degrees. So all company secretaries can avail those services. Recently, we have come out with one of the flyer indicating how you can do your PhD, even though the entrance test and all those tests you will have to undergo. But at least CS has been recognized as entry level for IIM PhD programs. So we want our members not only in employment but in practice to go and do the PhD programs, leadership programs, management programs, so that they reach the pinnacles of any company. Further, your institute has been already working on creating some position for company secretaries, maybe it in banking, wherein compliance officer in banks is something which we are aiming at, which has already been introduced by RBI, but we are now pushing it, and in insurance sector. So IRDA also, we are in continuous touch of getting the recognition of company secretaries as compliance officer in all insurance companies. As well as recently you might have seen the advertisement of Bank of India. We for years we were saying that why company secretaries are not mentioned in various vacancies which are carried out by different banks or PSUs. So recently I saw one vacancy wherein 484 vacancies were there for clearing member for Bank of India, and company secretaries are eligible to apply for that. So I think that is one thing which has come up as an effort of institute for last few years. As well as we have come out with a placement portal which has got overseas opportunities also. So you can apply for various overseas opportunities. Recently when we went to Dubai and had a very detailed discussion with various people there, we got to know that we need to create an equivalency certificate. We need to have equivalency certificates in abroad, and for that the entire International Affairs Committee and your institute is working so that your degree will be directly recognized abroad and you can take position in abroad also. So your institute is working on those particular fields also. In addition to that, the future perspective is your institute is coming out with corporate governance standards. So we all are aware about secretarial standards, auditing standards. Now we are coming out with voluntary corporate governance standards. So those would be released soon. And once they get a legal recognition, we will be the only professionals who would be handling it, and we will be the torchbearers. So these are the few things your institute is doing for making all the company secretaries comfortable and trying to help them to reach the pinnacle stages in different companies. So these are the things from my side. Tomorrow there is an open house session wherein we will discuss about the issues you are facing in respect of MCA, LLP forms, or there are few cases which are filed against professionals, may it be in employment or in practice, and CS Amendment Act which has come up. So what will be the impact on the institute and our members, that we will discuss in open house. You can throw your questions, feedbacks and suggestions to us, and in open house we'll try to answer all your questions. So at the outset, I thank you for joining this and for patient listening, and I hope that you will have a wonderful time today, and tomorrow we'll have a happy learning and happy discussing various aspects which will make us perfect. So CS Pursuing Perfection at Kochi. I thank all of you for joining. Thank you very much.
A warm speech, and specifically for giving the good news on AGM extension and the continuance of virtual mode. It is indeed my privilege to invite our versatile guest of honor, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, Chairman, Marine Product Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India, to address the gathering.
Respected Sri High B. Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament representing Ernakulam constituency, President of ICSI, Mr. Devendra Deshpande, Sri Nagendra Rao, Mr. Ashish Mohan, Mr. Shekhar Babu, Mr. Mithun Shrenai, other distinguished members of the fraternity of company secretaries, invited guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the print and visual media. A warm good morning to all of you. In fact, it's very heartening to see a huge crowd of few hundreds after the lockdown that was imposed 2 years ago. It is probably one of the first functions that I am attending where you're seeing such a huge gathering here. It goes to show that we are all back to almost normal after the torrid experience of the last couple of years. When I was invited for this function, there was no way I could say no, because a company secretary had helped me in a very critical phase in my career. When I was introduced, it was told that I had gone on deputation to Kerala government. One such deputation was as CEO of a government company called Norca Routes. Norca Routes has been set up for the benefit of non-resident Keralites. When it was established in 1996, it was established as a private limited company. Government was the junior shareholder. But over a period, the constitution changed and government became the senior shareholder. It became a government company. So you know the difference between the private company and a government company with regard to submission of documents to the ROC. So like a typical government company, we used to wait for the completion of the statutory audit, which almost used to take 1 or 2 years, and file our returns only after that. The normal procedures were going on. I did not bother much about the formalities with regard to ROC. Till one afternoon, a friend called up and said, "Is there any problem with your filings?" I said, "There are no specific problems, but for the fact that we are filing late." "But then you have to file on time." I said, "I know, but our audit takes time." Then he asked, "Are you a government company or a private company?" I said, "We are a government company." "I think there's a problem." Before I could understand what is the problem, I got a phone call saying, "Please switch on the TV." I switched on the TV and found that the directors of Norca, incidentally, were Mr. Yusuf Ali, Mr. Ravi Pillai, Mr. Asad Moopan, Mr. C.S. Menon, all the well-known Malayalis in the various parts of the world were appointed as directors of Norca, mainly to facilitate the activities of government and with matters regarding to non-residents. I just see a news flash saying that all these people, Mr. Yusuf Ali, Mr. Ravi Pillai, Mr. Dr. Asad Moopan, all of them have been blacklisted by ROC because Norca Routes have not filed the documents on time. I just got into a panic. I contacted. I said, "See, we are a government company, but check with ROC." ROC said, "Yes, you may be a government company, but unfortunately, when we are computerized, we didn't change the status of your company. Originally, you started as a private company. Now you have become a government company, but the status change was not updated in our system. So because it was not updated, it is still shown as a private company. And because it's a private company, you had to file the documents. Because you have not filed the documents, the directors have been blacklisted." Now, I started getting phone calls. Dr. Asad had taught me in medical college, and he was about to go on an IPO, and his application was pending with SEBI. One particular batchmate called up and said, "Congratulations, itraka sadhichallo." In other words, you could manage all this at one stroke. But within 1 week, my friend took me to ROC, we spoke to Delhi, and in 3-4 days, we got it sorted out. So professionally, it was a very tense period, a very torrid time. And I'm always grateful to the company secretaries who helped me out. So when I was invited, there was no way I could say no, because it was a profession which had helped me out very well at a time of great crisis. But this incident also taught me the importance that one has to give for following the various regulations brought in by the government. We always say about doing business at the pace of Singapore, which is very easy to say. I've been in Singapore, so how it is. You can open a company in just a few minutes, you can do this work, you can do this work. But then the sort of other regulations that are there in Singapore, which a person has to comply with, is also onerous, which is very difficult to impose in a country like India. So it is up to the individual to take over the responsibility of being compliant. In the welcome speech, Mr. Nagendra Rao said about compliance being equal to responsibility. That is the most important task. Because if you have to have ease of doing business, then a lot of the regulations have to be lifted and opened out. But then that is just taking the burden of compliance from a regulated environment to a facilitated environment, with the responsibility shift to the customer. So it is here that the importance of the institute and professionals like you come to the fore. You act as a bridge between the companies and the government. You are the people who should guide the companies and the other individuals who are in the field as to what are the regulatory provisions there, what are your responsibilities, what are the concerns regarding filing returns, and it has to be done by you. At the same time, it's equally important that one part is guiding the public, but it's also important that you inform government when there is a malfeasance. I'll put a brief example. We all read in the newspapers a couple of days back that the GST collections have hit a record. It's my parent department. I felt so much of happiness and thrill. 1.68 lakh crores is not a small thing. And compared to last April, it was a 20% increase. And even compared to March, the increase was almost 19%. What is the reason for this? It is not just a buoyancy. You say the growth is only 9%. It's definitely less than 10%. Month on month or year on year, it cannot be 20% growth. Then you can attribute something to inflation. But the major reason is that there has been better compliance. And the reason for major compliance is better enforcement. One of the things I'm extremely proud is that I was the person who did the first arrest in GST under the new GST law. It happened in Bombay. I'll explain the circumstance. We found that a person had opened a company and he was transacting some business. It got into trouble. Then he could not get funds from the bank. So what he did was to open Company 2, Company 3, and Company 4. So without movement of goods, he will just move the document from Company 1 to Company 2, to Company 3 to Company 4, and ensure that he got funds to all the companies. So all that was happening was that documents were moving without movement of goods. So we picked up the person, we arrested, and he told me, what is the problem? It is just some amount of creative leveraging. I found that the only thing creative we did was to create companies and create false documents, create false invoice. Nothing else was created. So this was a sort of fraud that is being played. Now, one of the reasons why we are getting better GST returns collection is because the use of fraudulent or irregular input tax credit has been brought down. So this is in areas like this that professionals like you can play a great service. When you find that there's a malfeasance, when you find that there's a deliberate evasion of law, your responsibilities may not be on the financial side, but certainly it will come on there's one topic here, what are the financial aspects of non-financial reporting? This is one such instance. When a person sets up a company solely for the purpose of routing documents, you come to know, you have to guide them, tell them not to do it. After all, you said that you have to speak the truth and uphold the law. So you need to, in case a person refuses to comply, you should inform the government. That is also part of your duty. Like advising the public correctly, you should also advise the government to ensure that malfeasance, evasion, and purposeful wrongdoing doesn't happen in society. I will not take more of your time. Just one small request. My regular charge is that of Executive Director of Rubber Board. Rubber Board, for people in Kerala would know, it's a state which has got a lot of rubber, and there are small societies called rubber producer societies, which are basically collectives of rubber. So we have been trying to convert these RPSs, rubber producer societies, into farmer producer organizations, a step up. So to become a farmer producer organization, the societies will have to acquire the status of a company. Some of those who became companies have the complaint that they find extremely difficult to comply with the requirements. So it is an area like this that probably the institute can offer some help. Form a arm in which you can help out the FPOs, at least handhold them during the first 2-3 years, work with organizations who are in the field of farming like rubber board, spices board, tea board, etc. So that this particular step, if you can help to upgrade the societies, which are essentially charitable societies, to farmer-producer organizations in the company sector, one, they will get much more efficient funding through NABARD. Second, they will also upgrade themselves in life and do better, because any good economy, any prosperous economy needs a prosperous farming sector also. I'll conclude now. I congratulate the organizers for organizing these sessions. All the topics of the technical session are extremely relevant, and I'm sure that the 2 days that you spent here would not just be beneficial on the professional side, but will also help you to relax away from the pressures of work in this lovely city of Cochin. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences and stories with us. Invite our chief guest of the day, the very vibrant and dynamic Sri Hybie Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, to address the conference.
The president of today's ceremony, the Honorable President of the ICSI, CS Devendra V. Deshpande, our very own Dr. K.N. Raghavan IRS, Chairman of EMPEDA and Tea Board of India, Honorable Chairman of the Cochin chapter, Sri C.S. Midun B. Shanai, Sri C.S. Sri Shekhar Babu, Sri Nagendra Rao, Sri C.S. Ashish Mohan, distinguished guests on the dais, of the dais, friends who have come here from different parts of the country, students and company secretaries, and the friends from the media fraternity. First of all, I would like to welcome, as a member of the Parliament, each and every one of you to the Queen of Arabian Sea for a two-day conference, the national conference. As Dr. Raghavan mentioned, I hope you would have a very comfortable stay in Cochin. Welcome once again to Cochin. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be a part of the third conference of the ICSE. I've always been a part of this institution, this system, many a times in Cochin. And as a member of Parliament, it is always very fruitful for me whenever laws come up in the Parliament, whenever there are discussions on certain bills. Your colleagues have always been very kind enough to update me on certain matters, when matters which are at the national interest, when there are laws in place or amendments which happen regarding to your fraternity also. It is always for a member of Parliament, for a lawmaker to understand your perspective in certain matters. So it is always very helpful as a lawmaker to understand the ground reality, the practical differences, the practical suggestions which you have put across have always helped me. I don't think after Dr. Raghavan hitting a double century, I should be speaking. We are the most unfortunate lot, the political fraternity in India, where we would be speaking on GST, Indian nuclear deal, Indian Premier League, every day in the news channels. We are invited by or asked guests to attend different media debates. Even though we don't understand most of them, we are taking part in all of them. Dr. Raghavan, on the other hand, is not just an IRS officer or have a credible track record in his career, but as very clearly mentioned, he's a writer, he's an author of many books, he's a critic, he's also, you must have seen him on screen many a times, a very handsome umpire calling you're out in the international cricket matches. He has been very helpful for a person like me whenever it's very comfortable to work with people like him. He has very clearly mentioned what is expected from your fraternity, what is happening in India. And a person who first had the GST in the country is very well aware of the practical barriers which is really on the field. I am very happy to be a part of this ceremony. This organization for the last 5 decades have been a very proactive organization, promoting the many different sectors. It's a pioneer body in promoting the many different acts in our country. Our organization, I believe, that is very vital in keeping the essence of the business of many different companies in our country, including the public sector undertakings. I have, as a member of Parliament, I still don't believe that in a country like India, ease of doing business is something which even still is a dream come true. Even in a state like Kerala, especially in a state like Kerala, ease of doing business is something which regularly the governments, the different governments and the political fraternity have told to you But unfortunately, there haven't been there haven't been a lot of encouragement in that matter. Many a times, we know forming a company, as company secretaries, you would very well know, forming a company and working on that, or the ease of doing business, many documents which have to be filed, many new laws which are in place, as Dr. Raghavan mentioned. There are different hassles for somebody to start a new company or an organization to run credible in the future is something which is still a dream. But I'm pretty sure that the organization which you represent, the portfolio which you represent have done a lot to make sure that our, this is a robust arena, and our country as a whole, after the many different scenarios, including the GST, have found it very difficult. Even many of the officers or many of the people included in the fraternity are not quite sure of the laws which are in place, including the GST. It differs, turns around every day. So this is a robust organization which is trying to maintain the, not just the economy of the country, but the well-being of the many of the companies which have made our country proud. I have a background of commerce, so whenever, during my graduation in Sacred Heart College, there are two words which I didn't like. One was CA and one was CS. Because most of the academically brilliant guys and girls used to be, with their graduation, they used to do their course in CS and CA. I'm very happy to understand and know that many of my colleagues and students who studied with me are professors in institutions like Edinburgh, professors in many of the world-renowned institutions, and many different fraternities and public sector undertakings. So I'm very happy that the organization, the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, has been very vital organization to make sure that for the last 5 decades, they have made a very credible name in this scenario. And across the globe, the country has been, the organization has been quite well, especially the upcoming chapter or a chapter which is being more relevant. The Kochi chapter is also extremely doing well, and we are happy that our new building is also coming up in the city of Cochin. I would like to congratulate all of you who are involved in this particular venture. And I'm very happy to be a part of the community. And as I said, as a member of parliament, it gives us more information, more light to many different activities which are happening in our country. Thank you once again. And I would like to say that this, this third annual conference of the ICSC is inaugurated. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your joyous and zestful speech. Always a pleasure to hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing to the conclusion of the inaugural session of the 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS. I now call upon our very own CS Ashish Mohan, Secretary, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Manju. Good morning, all of you. Shri Hybie Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS Chairman, Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India, President of the Institute, C.S. Devendra Deshpande, C.S. Nagendra D. Rao, Program Director and immediate past President, Shri Ranjit Pandey, Shri Ashish Garg, past Presidents, Council Members, Narsimhan Sir, Sandeep Kejriwal Ji, Ahlad Rao Ji, Hitendra Mehta Ji, all past Chairman, Shekhar Babu, Chairman of the Regional Council, Chairman of the Kochi Chapter, Mithun, past Chairman Balasubramanian Ji of the SARC, all senior members, distinguished guests, dear students who are attending online, some students are attending online also, I think, ICSA officials, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to all of you. It is certainly a privilege for me to stand before all of you in this city, the Queen of Arabiancy, my own city, where ICSI is celebrating its 3rd National Conference of Corporate CS. As rightly pointed out by the panelists already, the conference, theme of the conference, pursuing perfection, has been very apt and something which is inevitable to the profession of company secretaries. We have seen, dear members, the multifaceted profiles that a company secretary has been playing, being a compliance officer, governance professional, advisor, strategist, legal expert, expert in corporate law, securities laws, capital market, corporate governance, etc., being a corporate planner, strategic manager. So we are there in our role and we are moving towards for being a preferred professionals in the days to come. And in fact, I'm thankful to the President, ICSI. He has taken this motto of making company secretary a preferred professional this year. The biggest charm of the profession still continues to be reaching to the top management right at the entry level, being the KMP, and ICSI definitely strengthens and molds its members to equip this particular profile. The faith invested by the government in the ICSI and the members is huge, dear members, and we have to adhere to it. I would like to add that the continuous learning programs like the one we have today is a crucial piece to this success. And when the whole world is changing and dominated by artificial intelligence, we have to keep ourselves adaptable to these changes. As an institution, I would assure all of you that we are doing our best to make sure that we are working on areas of mass opportunity, including areas of mass opportunity for practice. At this juncture, it's my utmost duty to thank and put on record our sincere gratitude to Shri Haibi Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. Sir, your words of wisdom goes a long way for the efforts of ICSI in articulating better governance standards. And you have been, as you said, always been there for the Institute in all its endeavors. And we thank you for your valuable time and being with us today here. I request our President to kindly hand over a Shahid Ki Beti certificate to Shri Haibi Eden, Honorable Member of Parliament, as a token of our gratitude.
Shahid Ki Beti is a unique initiative by ICSI for providing financial support to the girl child of the martyr for her higher studies or for any other purpose. Under this scheme, ICSI will be presenting certificates to the dignitaries of various programs in lieu of memento. Each year, ICSI determines the total number of such certificates issued, and the total amount accumulated in this fund will be donated to the daughter of martyr as a financial support from ICSI to the Shahid Ki Beti.
Thank you, Manju, for explaining that. Shri Dr. N. Raghavan, IRS Chairman, Marine Products Export Development Authority and Tea Board of India, actually needs no introduction in this entire gathering. Such a excellent personality, such a multifaceted personality. We have seen him right from the cricketing fields to having administered such huge positions. And even today, his words of encouragement and also advice is very, very encouraging. Sir, I take your suggestions, and I'm ensuring that we will definitely put your suggestions on the highest pedal, and we'll work towards that. I thank you, sir, for your valuable time here. Again, your valuable time and your words of encouragement. And I request President ICSI to kindly hand over a Shahid Ki Beti certificate as a token of our gratitude. Friends, an event of such big magnitude would not have been a memorable one other than without a steadfast leadership under the guidance of C.S. Devendra Deshpande, President ICSI, C.S. Nagendra D. Rao, Program Director and immediate past President. I thank all the past Presidents, Central Council members, SIRC led by Chair Shekhar Babuji and Balasubramaniam ji, other Regional Council members, Kochi Chapter Chairman, Mithun, and the entire Managing Committee team, entire team ICSI from Delhi, and last but not the least, the members and students. You made this program a great success. And also I thank the entire members and students attending this program virtually also. I wish all of you a great learning in the coming 2 days. I end with one more announcement here. One good news is that the COE, the Center of Excellence Hyderabad, had put in a lot of effort to bring out a great material on arbitration. And we are hereby confirming that that particular material will be sent to all of you who have registered here physically, and it will be sent to your respective address. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great learning ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. This, we have come to the conclusion of our inaugural session. Request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता।